Calculate the present values and the future value using Excel. This is important for a lot of classes you may take in college, and it's actually very useful when trying to calculate mortgage payments and other different payments you may use in businesses or saving up for trips, and I will do later videos to show how to do all of that. So first, let's calculate the present value. Present value is a function in Excel which is found by hitting equals and putting a PV. Then you're able to click on this and it'll give you some options. So there's a rate, number of periods, payment, future value, and type. Now we're going to walk through all of those one by one. So let's say that you are going to be trying to calculate the present value of a 5-year period. So over here we're just going to put a 5. Now let's say we do not want this to be a dollar amount, so we're just going to put this back to general, keeping it a 5. Now let's say that the interest rate for that period is a 7%. Looks like Excel may automatically do it for you, so be careful and make sure that there is only a 7%. Now let's say that your payment for each year is going to end up being, let's do $15,000. And this we do want to turn, you can turn this into the dollar format by just clicking the dollar over here in Excel, and I'll change it for you. And let's say that the future value is 0. So this would be applicable if you were taking out a lease and you're making $15,000 payments and there is no end value or residual value. This would be applicable to a situation like that. And so for the present value, let's say that we are also making payments at the beginning of the period, which is also super important. So now that we have all those, we can come down here and say that our present value is going to be equal to PV. You click on the PV. Now the first thing it wants you to do is click on the rate. That's the interest rate. So you come up here and click the 7%. The percent is important. You need to have that in there. If you do not have a percent, you would want to put 0.07. After you click on the cell, you put a comma, and then you're going to need to do number of periods. So since it's a 5-year period and we're doing it off of an annual interest rate of 7%, we come here and we click on the 5 for a 5-year period. We put another comma, and now it's going to ask for the payments. Payments is going to be $15,000 each payment, so we click on that cell and we put another comma. It's going to ask for the future value, and in this situation we have 0, so we click on the 0 and we put another comma, and now it's going to ask for end of period or beginning of period. Since we said beginning of period right here, we're going to go ahead and click this. Now you can either close it out with an end parenthesis, or if you want, you can just hit enter. Now when calculating the present value as well as the future value, it is always going to end up as a negative. The way to change that is you come, and if you're using a Mac you can double click. If you're not, you should just be able to click on the cell. And you come back to in between the present value and the equal sign and you put a negative there. Then you can hit enter again, and that just makes it positive. So you can see that the present value of the 5 $15,000 payments at a 7% interest rate is going to be $65,808.17. Also, if this is for an assignment and you just want to do a whole number, you can come over here and you can click this decimal to get rid of the decimal, and you can either make it to 1 decimal point, 2 decimal points, 3 decimal points, so on and so forth. So that is present value in a nutshell. And if you set up your equation like this, then if, say, you do have a future value of $10,000, you just have to click it in there, hit enter, and it'll change your number here. It's already set up, so you can change any of these to whatever you want to change them to, and it'll calculate. Let's say we wanted to do a 25% interest rate, which would be crazy. Now, to calculate future value, calculating future value is actually the exact same way. You set it up with the same 5-year period, which is just a 5, and you can do interest rate, whatever the interest rate is. Let's say 8% this time. Payments are going to be $35,000. So, and then you want to put the present value. And let's say present value is 0. And you can say, let's say it's the end of period this time. Now, once you've done this, you can come down here, future value. Future value can be found by simply putting an equal sign and then doing an FV, and it'll come with the future value. You click on that, and it'll be nearly the same as present value. So it asks for the rate, and you click on the rate cell, put a comma, ask for number of periods, you click on the number of period part, put a comma, ask for the payments, you click on the payments, put a comma, and then it'll ask for the present value. So you click on the present value, and you put a comma, and then it'll ask for type. And in this situation, we're going to do end of period, and we hit enter. And like I said earlier, it'll always be a negative until you come in here and you change it. You can avoid that by just simply putting the negative in here the first time you put the future value, but I wanted to illustrate the point. Now you see that the future value of $535,000 payments plus the 8% interest will be $205,331. And of course that will change as well. If let's say the present value was $50,000, it'll go up accordingly. And you can change around the numbers, and the whole thing will change as you do differences. And if you change the number of periods, it has quite a huge effect on the future value. Now you know how to do the present value and future value functions in Excel, and in later videos I will show how you can create mortgage payment schedules, you can create saving plans, retirement saving plans, and everything using just these two functions of Excel.